Testing, testing. All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. So welcome. We are now live from Sim1 Racing here in Paramus, New Jersey. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael, and I work here at Sim1 Racing. But I'm just giving you guys probably about a 1 hour or so live stream. I'm going to be doing our brand new weekly qualifier, which is the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento at Monza. So for those of you guys who don't know what our weekly qualifiers are, this is one of our newer competitions here at Sim1 Racing. We do a new car and track every week. Challenge starts on Monday at 11 a.m. and the challenge ends at Sunday at 11 p.m. So at the end of the week, we get the top three finishers, and then we invite them to a race championship race at the end of the month, where you're then competing to get a spot on our Sim1 racing team. So I am not eligible for any of the top three prizes or to make the racing team or anything like that because I work here. But I do want to give this challenge a go and just see how difficult it is, get a feel for it myself. And I also want to give you guys some input and give you guys my feedback on the challenge. So for those that are interested and watching our live streams, you guys will have that that extra info of getting some insights into our challenges and learning about the cars and tracks before you guys actually get started on them in the sim. But right now I'm just adjusting some of my settings. Just make sure this is all set properly. But yeah, before I hop into the challenge, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the car so you guys have a brief history on it. Let's just join server here. But this is, of course, Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. Some of you guys may have seen this from some of the previous racing games in the Xbox 360 and early PS3, PS4 racing game era. But this car is an icon in the car world, but at the same time, almost a myth. So there's actually only 20 of these cars that were ever made. Look on my specs. Only 20 of them were ever planned to be made. But just a brief history on this car. This car is called the Sesto Elemento, which translates to the sixth element from Italian. But the sixth element refers to carbon. So this car was basically pretty much entirely made of carbon fiber. They used carbon on not only the body panels, but they also used it on the entire chassis, suspension, even the drivetrain, which includes the drive shafts and other suspension components were all made with carbon fiber. Even the interior, you'll notice one of the first things is on the inside of this car in the front, the dash is made by forged carbon. So this car was also an innovator at the time. It was one of the first cars to make use of this forged carbon material, which ended up being a lot more sustainable for manufacturers to use. But going into the specs of this car, it is a 5.2 liter naturally aspirated V10. It's producing about 570 horsepower at 398 pound-feet of torque. The transmission is a 6-speed semi-automatic with paddles. And the car is actually surprisingly, which I was not aware of, all-wheel drive. So that I expect right off the bat, I'm expecting some understeer in this car. But it also should be able to put down the power fairly well given the all-wheel drive. But speaking of power, the top speed of this car is about 200 miles per hour. And it'll take you 0 to 60 in just about 2.5 seconds. So that'll be it for the specs of the car, and we're just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start with ABS on, and I'm gonna start with traction control off. But car has a lot of power, but luckily this is a great track for power. In fact, one of the fastest tracks in the world. This is Monza, known by many as the Temple of Speed, but track is very much suited to high horsepower cars. Has a lot of straightaways with mostly right-hand turns. I'm not too familiar with this track. I have done it before, but it's been a while since I've given it a go, so should take me some time to get used to all these tight chicanes here at Monza. First thing I noticed as I blow past the second turn I faced is this car definitely has street car style brakes. I'm actually gonna turn the ABS off, see if I lock up. Some cars are very usable with ABS on, but others are a lot harder. So curious to see how this car is with the ABS. And yeah, that is not gonna work for sure. Locked up the second I got on the brakes. So you guys aren't able to see it, but that braking zone completely cooked my two front tires, so ABS is gonna go straight on. I don't think you could adjust the brake bias in this car. All right, here we go. First hot lap. So looks like my tires are now actually cold. I'm gonna start by braking at the 200. Find it very easy that I'm hitting ABS in this car, but I don't think that's too much of an issue. So I'm noticing this car is very easy to get into ABS. The braking isn't the best, and mid-turn in, it doesn't have the best grip, but right now I'm just playing it super conservative. Want to slowly build up those lap times, not push too hard at the beginning. But the car is very darty, which is nice. The front end really likes the nose will just dive in and initiate that turn a lot easier than you'd initially expect. So I think that'll help as long as I'm not too aggressive with the turn in. This car definitely seems capable of having that snap oversteer, but so far seems fairly stable. Gonna brake at the 200. Slowly start to trail. Can definitely brake later there. Gonna go for the 150 board next time. Just give the brakes a tap there. Don't think I need to downshift into third gear on that turn. This one, we're gonna brake right at the 150. Released off the brake a little there. I was a bit hesitant in my initial braking point, which ended up costing me. So I feel like this car is better at turning when you get off the brake, it definitely doesn't like trail braking too much. I actually find that as soon as you release off the brake, the nose really wants to turn in. And that's when you could gain times, whereas other track cars are more suited to turning with the trail brake. Whereas I feel like this one is actually kind of the opposite. Hitting just over 180 on the straights. I definitely think the braking point for turn 1 is a lot closer to that 150 board. Again, I have to keep remembering to not downshift right there. Tap the brakes. Oh, I keep initiating a drift on this turn. It's a pretty tricky car, especially with the all-wheel drive. I actually did not expect this car to be all-wheel drive, but definitely struggling with the brakes. It's 155, so still a lot of time to improve on, but I feel like I'm gradually getting faster, understanding this car more and more. But just as I say that, missed the first turn completely. I think the braking point in turn 1 is closer probably to about 180 meters. I think 150 is pushing it too much. Here, I'm gonna try to stay in fourth. Never mind, go back down to third. I think it was that other turn that I'm supposed to stay in fourth. These turns look so similar at Monza, it's hard to tell which one is which. But yeah, the challenge is definitely harder than some of our previous ones, due to it being more of a street style car as opposed to a normal GT car. The car isn't horrible. It's definitely suited for Monza. If I had to drive this car on any track, it'd probably be here. But I still have a lot of learning to do. Definitely think the locking up of the brakes is the trickiest part for me to manage. It's a lot better. You actually might not have to brake at all there. Which I definitely didn't realize at first. So out of all turns, I think that turn is the easiest to cut and kill your lap. It unfortunately won't tell you, but you're only allowed a maximum of 2 tires off track, so turn makes it pretty easy to cut all 4, but I think that was valid, what I just did. This turn is definitely where you notice the understeer from the all-wheel drive. It's a fast right-hander, you try to take it flat out, but definitely getting understeer through there. I'm gonna try to just lift here. Oh yeah, that was way better. Definitely don't need to brake through there. I don't even know if you have to lift, but definitely gained a lot of time through that turn. Traction control is off. There's definitely no need to have it on. I feel like so far, haven't struggled too much with traction. The nose definitely wants to dive in some of these higher speed turns, but I almost think it's better suited to the car. Right now I'm about a half a second up on my previous fastest, which is a 53.9. Still a lot of time to be gained on this track though. I think that was definitely an off track. See if I could go flat out. Oh yeah, this turn is flat out. You don't have to even lift. I gained a few tenths there. That's good to know. I think this turn I should brake around the 150. So I think it goes 180 flat out and then brake at the 150. That was a very early upshift. This turn is where I keep drifting and losing control. Got to figure that turn out. I think that turn should be a third gear, but I keep taking it in second. I think I keep braking too early there. This turn is flat out. Gained about almost 3 tenths there alone. I'm gonna try to take this in third. Nope. Need to brake more and go down to second. Lost too much time there. All right, let's see if this is the lap. So gonna start again, brake right after 200. Second turn is flat out. Third turn, I believe is 180. Let's see. Broke earlier there. I'm gonna trail brake sooner. Hit the curb on the first turn, which cost me some time. Lap isn't dead though. So here we brake right after 200. Probably even closer to 150. And then here we're gonna downshift to second. Don't know if I'm slowing down too much by going into second, but last time around I tried third and it was way too hard to not lose control. So for now I'm gonna do second gear. That time around, I let go of the trail brake a little too early, and as soon as I did that, the rear end went away and I lost the time. So I was on a good lap until that turn, but it's definitely something to note for this track. Car doesn't have the most grip. You almost have to let the nose point in and then get on the throttle to manage the wheel spin. That lap ended up being pretty much dead even with my previous fastest. Still a lot of time to be gained though. Right now I'm about 3/10 up. See if I can finally nail this turn. Way better that time around. So I think it's, you trail brake through the first left-hander, and then through those final right 2 turns in the chicane, you just sort of lift to get that momentum going. No, this is gonna be off track. That'll kill the lap. Man, last turn, lost about half a second there. See if I could recreate that, but this time around, just complete that final turn. I don't know how I kept it on track there, but that killed all my time. I think second gear is starting to hurt me. As soon as I downshift into second, the car is getting way too high in the rev range and starting to lose control. Yeah, this lap is now completely dead. Another late braking there. I gotta find my braking point there. It's the one turn where I don't see any defined brake markers. Trying to just kind of play it by memory on where I'm braking, but I need to find somewhere off the track that I can lock my eyes on and get some more consistency in that point. All right, there's the lap. Right now I'm up 6/10. Just have to do this last turn. So see, here's the 300, 200. It's way too much coasting there, but that was at the 175. Definitely lost a lot of time there, but I think the breaking point should be around the 150. But at least I have a better idea now. And that lap is going to be cut. All right. So that was 15 laps. Just did my best lap, which is a 152.7. It's definitely a lot of time to be gained. Let's see if I could change. I think the tires can't be changed. I'm just curious. Can't change the setup, but I am curious what tires these cars have available. I could get this keyboard to work. I don't think so. All right, so let me take a look at the leaderboard. Don't think many times have been set so far. Yeah, right now Jonas was the only other member that set a time. He set a 152.79. I just set a 152.75. So just a few hundredths ahead of Jonas, but there's definitely a lot of time to be gained here. Yeah, so this car only uses semi-slicks. But first things I've noticed, the car definitely has some snap oversteer to it. The car, I feel like the nose of it wants to just dive out and lose control at times and really just sort of put the car into a drift. I'm still trying to figure out if having that drift through some of these turns is better for the car or worse. Usually like GT cars, you want to keep them on rails and make sure they're always within that traction, they're always stable. But a lot of times, a lot of street cars are, not the case. A lot of times you want to have them in the drift, and that's really where you're gaining a lot of time. So that's why I'm purposely leaving traction control off on this car. The ABS definitely has to stay on. The moment you turn ABS off, the car locks way too much. Unfortunately, there's no way to adjust the brake bias, which kind of is a letdown. But yeah, overall, this car is not bad. I would say it would definitely struggle on some other tracks. It's better on Monza because it's a more high-speed car. But gonna do a few more laps, see if I can improve based on what I've already learned so far. And then pretty soon I'll be wrapping it up. Just wanted to give this challenge a go and give you guys my initial thoughts and impressions on the car and track. But overall fun challenge. I definitely think it's a challenge for those that haven't participated in our weekly qualifiers so far. So I'm curious to see who the top 3 will be. But Jonas already looks to be in a decent understanding of this car and track. But let's get into it. Let's see what we could do. I know there's, for me, at least a half a second that I could improve. But there's definitely a lot of time still on the table here at Monza. All right, here we go. First hot lap with the new tires on. And the knowledge that I've now gained on the track, let's see what we can do. I think that off track there probably killed the lap. I don't know for sure, but it seemed like all 4 tires were off track. That's where you get that understeer. So much wheel spin in that first turn, but I'm going down into first gear, but so far that's worked for me. Gained a few tenths in that last turn. It's interesting, I gained time on the corner entry, but the corner exit, I lost a bit of time. Broke too late there. I think that's the way to take that turn, the way I just did. Keep it in, or go to fourth and then shift right back down into third gear. But I think second gear is too much. Get out of here, bro. Yo, you see who's in first? I'm him. First in the challenge. Oh no! Yo, you distracted me, bro. Dang. Yo, you distracted me. Look who's first, though. Look who's first. I'm him. Jonas has. Yo, he's a gold member. He's always here. Bro is always practicing. Bro is always practicing. I'm up. Nah, Jonas has only done 6 laps. So Jonas, if you're watching this, should actually join me sometime. Should do a dual stream. Curious to see who can get the faster lap. But yeah, there's definitely not an easy car and track combo. But gonna do 1 or 2 more laps and then wrap it up for the stream. It was fun giving this challenge a go, but it's definitely one of the harder challenges we've done. I honestly didn't expect this car to be all-wheel drive. I think that affected the way it affects the way it handles a lot. And one of the harder things is just the way this car darts in. But definitely a fun car to drive, and Monza's a fairly easy track to learn, so not the worst challenge. Wow, so I broke at the same point there, but I think I just had a lot higher of a top speed than my previous laps. I'm gonna give it one more go, and that'll be it for the stream. All right, here it is. Last lap of the stream. Gonna brake right at the 200. Not the best first turn, about 1/10 of a second off. Can't figure out that turn right there. Lost a ton of time there. I think that's gonna, yeah, that's gonna be the end of the lap. All right. Think that'll be it. This car is definitely a handful, but it's fun. It's a fun car and track. But that'll be all for the live stream, guys. Looks like after about 20 or so laps, my best time was a 152.748. Right now, I think I'm sitting in first place by just a few hundredths of a second. But I know we still have a lot of members and other people that have yet to try the challenge. But if you guys haven't checked this out yet, definitely stop by and come visit us. We're located at 145 Route 4 here in Paramus, New Jersey. But this weekly qualifier will run from now until Sunday night at 11 p.m. And of course, prizes for top 3. So if you guys get in top 3, you guys not only get free sim time, but more importantly, you'll get invited to the championship race at the end of the month where you can compete to earn a spot on our Sim 1 racing team. But that'll be all for the stream, guys. And I hope to see you guys all here soon. Thank you.